Hey, mahal everyone, welcome back again to the Broadway Saiyan YouTube channel. I am your host 40 and we are back with another video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. In today's video, we have an underappreciated, this time focusing on our magical tank Celeste. Before I go ahead and start off with this video, I do appreciate your guys' patience. During the last few days, I had a personal circumstance come up, which is why I wasn't able to stream or make videos for the last few days. So thank you guys for your patience, and thank you guys for all the love, support, and prayers that you guys have sent out to me. I really appreciate that. You guys are awesome. But anyways, let's go ahead and move forward with underappreciated Celeste. Now, the way I'm doing these underappreciated, starting with this one, is going to be slightly a little bit different. You'll see as I progress through the video. Definitely looking for some feedback on it. So if you let me know in the comment section below how you guys feel about how I did this underappreciated. So what do we know about Celeste? So Celeste, as we know, within the global version of the game, she's a magical tank who specializes in absorbing magic-based attacks. She also has a DPS option in Shine Edge, which is a non-elemental magical ability. Her stats that she excels in are HP defense and her initial brave, but her attack speed and max brave are a bit on the lower end statistically. So as a tank, she can be particularly useful for boss fights that utilize mainly magic-based attacks. So some examples of those kind of bosses are Excel Turbo, Dark Bahamut, Seymour, especially the level 90 Seymour in the Lost Chapters for Tidus, which we currently have, and White Priest. So currently in the global version of Dissidia Opera Omnia, fast DPS units supported by strong buffers such as, let's say, Aiko or Saz, who are like probably the top 2 OP offensive support right now, they tend to perform well. And unfortunately, this hurts tank characters like Celeste because most difficult quests will have a score or turn achievement, and having a tank, while it will help, it's not viable for that because sometimes you're sacrificing that turn setting up for the tank and not dealing damage, whereas you can just have a support character for that to help you deal more damage, or just another fast offensive unit. So this is the reason why I say Celeste kind of suffers from that, making her a niche kind of a character. And then her DPS ability, while it does look good on paper because it does deal both brave and HP damage, it does have a low damage modifier, even unfortunately with her 15 CP passive. So talking about her damage, the next thing we're going to look at is comparing her Shine Edge ability versus Papalymo and Garnet's DPS abilities. Now, why did I choose to compare her to Papalymo and Garnet? Well, the reason why is because Shine Edge is a one-hit magical brave plus HP attack, and that is very similar to both of Papalymo and Garnet's offensive abilities because they both have a one-hit magical brave plus HP. So let's go ahead and take a look at those abilities and compare them. So Celeste's Shine Edge without any 15 CP passive is a one-hit non-elemental magic brave plus HP attack that also grants her a 10% up to her max brave for 2 turns. Now the damage modifier is at 40%, which is really abysmally low without the 15 CP. With her 15 CP, this ability will now also grant her HP regen to herself for 4 turns, so it gives her a little bit of survivability because she is going to be provoking the enemy, meaning that there's a high chance she's going to be taking HP damage. It's also going to be increasing her max brave up to 20%, and it is now extended to 4 turns. So that max brave up, instead of it being 10%, is now at 20%, and this helps her out because whenever she absorbs magical damage, it is added to her brave, and having a max brave up increase means she's going to be dealing more HP damage. And the damage modifier for that one singular magical brave attack is now at 100%. So it got a fair increase at 60%. Now let's go ahead and compare this to Papalymo's Astral Fire and Umbral Ice with the weapon passives equipped to him. So Astral Fire, with its passive, has an enormous damage modifier of 140%, which is amazing. It also further improves Papalymo's DPS because it grants him a 30% attack up and a 20% max brave up for 6 turns. So not only is he getting increased damage, but he's also going to be dealing more HP damage because it is increasing his max brave, and those buffs last longer than Celeste's with his 15 CP passive. His Umbral Ice with passive has a little bit of a lower damage modifier at 90%. However, it does grant him initial brave up, and then also gives him a brave regen for 6 turns. So it has a way to refill his brave per turn. So that is comparing the abilities of Papalymo to Celeste's Shine Edge. So overall, Papalymo will be doing more damage, which is what, again, Celeste is lacking. Now let's go ahead and compare it to Garnet's abilities. So Garnet has 2 abilities, which are both a one-hit magical brave damage plus HP, Aquamarine, Water Glint, and Parados Thunder Flash. So her first one, Aquamarine Water Glint with its passive, passive, has a damage modifier of 130%, so not quite as high as Papalimos, but it's still higher than Celeste's Shine Edge. This will further be increasing the damage that it deals later on because she also inflicts a water imperil for 4 turns, meaning that the enemy is taking more, is being dealt more damage from water-based attacks. It also grants a Brave regen to the party for 4 turns, so now she has a way to support the party, whereas Celeste doesn't really have that. And then also she gets the Water Dragon unique buff for 4 turns, which further increases her water damage. So pretty much the more she uses this ability, the more damage it's going to deal. And then her second ability is Parados Thunder Flash. So with passive, it has a damage modifier of 100%, so it's equal to Celeste's Shine Edge, but it also inflicts a Thunder Imperil, again, meaning that she will be dealing more Thunder-based damage to the enemy that has this Imperil. It'll also grant her a 30% max Brave Up to herself for 4 turns, versus Celeste's 20% max Brave Up, so Garnet's going to be dealing more HP damage compared to Celeste, and then also it grants her the Thunder Emperor unique buff for 4 turns, which further increases the thunder damage that she deals. So similar to Aquamarine Water Glint, a little bit of a lower damage modifier, but still it deals overall more damage compared to Celeste's Shine Edge. So this is, again, like we were saying, why tank characters in a sense, and while Celeste does have that DPS option, she still is kind of lacking and she's still very niche. Now, how does Celeste compare to the other tanks that we currently have in Global? So Celeste is slightly faster than Warrior of Light, and she only needs a turn to set up her tanking duties, because in a sense for Warrior of Light to set up, first he needs to use Throw Buckler, and then he Shine Shields himself, to where that's where he fully sets up, whereas Celeste, all she needs to do is use Runic Blade. She also has better DPS because of Runic Blade's magic absorption. So what I mean by that is that every time a magic Brave attack hits her, she absorbs it, and it actually adds to her Brave. So she's refilling her Brave faster, meaning that she could immediately deal, or almost immediately deal, an HP attack. And also she has Shine Edge, which is that one-hit magical Brave plus HP attack. Now, however, Wall's Shining Shield handles any sort of Brave damage. While it doesn't refresh your Brave, it absorbs any kind, meaning range, melee, or magic, not just a specific type. And also, you can use a shield to protect other party members rather than just protecting himself. So, in the event where taunting or provoking an enemy may not be the most ideal thing to do, you can just put a shield on somebody, which is pretty good in case that unit is being targeted. Now, Celeste, compared to Galoof, she is slightly faster than Galoof, and she sets up her tanking duties faster, as Galoof will need a total of 4 turns to fully set up, because he does need to master both of his abilities. He has similarities because he does only focus on physical abilities, whereas Celeste focuses on magical, so they focus on one type of damage type. His evade and counter specialty against physical abilities is more of like a support kind of a tanking, because whenever he counters, he hits hard enough to where he can potentially score a Brave Break, where when a Brave Break happens, as we all know, provides Brave to the party, and also he simultaneously helps them avoid damage because the Galoof will be stepping in and covering for his allies. Now, Celeste compared to Snow, again, Celeste is slightly faster than Snow, so Celeste is the fastest tank that we have currently in the global version of the game. Both of them do need 1 turn to set up, so Snow needs to use Steel Guard to set up, and then Celeste needs to use Runic Blade to set up. Celeste has a shield that at least protects her from 1 type of damage, whereas Snow, unfortunately, even though he has a Provoke, he doesn't shield himself whatsoever, so he's still going to be eating damage, although he does have the defense up that he does get from Steel Guard, which is pretty nice. Snow's Provoke does last 3 turns longer than Celeste's, because Celeste is only for 2 turns, and his Frost Strike, with its weapon passive, does have a slightly higher damage modifier than Celeste's Shine Edge, so his damage modifier on his Frost Strike is at 120%, whereas Celeste's is only at 100%. So that is Celeste compared to the other tanks that we currently have in the global version of Dissidia Opera Omnia. So what could Celeste be given to be better? So if they increase her damage output with Shine Edge, and perhaps either allowing it to grant her an attack buff to herself, or even if she places a defense debuff to the enemy, would help again, because right now, like I said, the current state of the game highly favors high damage dealers. And because she is a magic tank, Runic Blade could perhaps have an AoE Provoke, and then also even grant the party, like, let's say, a magic defense up or a Brave regen. So then that way, she also has some sort of a support functionality rather than just tanking. And the reason why I suggest an AoE Provoke is this is playing off of Final Fantasy VI. So in Final Fantasy VI, when you use Runic, even if there's one enemy or if there's multiple enemies, whenever they use a magical ability, Celeste absorbs all of them. So this is why maybe she could have that provoke be an AoE provoke. So kind of playing off of that ability that she had in Final Fantasy VI. Alright, so what will Celeste be given in the future? So she is going to later receive some buffs, a level 60 awakening, and her EX weapon Stone Blade. When you awaken her to level 60, her abilities will have more usage, so both of her abilities, which is her Shine Edge and her Runic Blade, can be used up to 7 times. Her level 55 passive increases Shine Edge to 2 Brave hits now before dealing that HP damage, and it's going to have its overall damage modifier increased to 240%, so that's huge. She's also going to be receiving Brave after she uses Shine Edge based on 10% of the HP damage she deals, and the buffs that she provides to herself using Shine Edge is going to be extended to 2 turns, so very, very good. Her level 60 passive will now allow Runic Blade to gain more Brave, this time based on 170% of her initial Brave, which is pretty big. Magical Absorption will now be a stackable unique buff, which can be stacked up to 5 times, and each stack raises her max Brave based on the number of stacks. The stacks will increase for every time she absorbs a magic attack. This will also change her HP attack to HP attack plus while she has magic absorption up, and HP attack plus is a one-hit non-elemental Brave plus HP attack with a damage modifier of 100%. So essentially it's Shine Edge, but without all the other effects that Shine Edge does. Well, vanilla Shine Edge is what I mean. Again, she's also going to be getting an EX ability because she is going to be getting her EX weapon Stone Blade. So her EX ability is going to be Spinning Edge. This is going to be a 5-hit non-elemental magic Brave plus HP attack. It has a huge damage modifier of a total of 500%, with each of the 5 hits being at 100%. It also grants her the unique buff Rune Knight, and also grants her 40% attack up to herself for 5 turns. So that's good. Now she has a way to further increase the amount of damage that she deals. So the Rune Knight unique buff grants her 10% magic attack up, Brave regen based on 80% of her initial Brave, which is pretty huge, and then also HP regen based on 5% of her max HP. So what is our conclusion after going over what she gets in the future? So she definitely becomes a lot better for sure with her Awakening and EX weapon. However, as a tank, even in the JP side of the game right now, she is still going to be a niche character. Despite her, though, being niche, there is going to be an event, a particular one, which is the level 150 World of Illusions Ifrit event, where we get to level up our Ifrit summon all the way up to level 30. That event is completely trivialized by Celeste. And all in all, she has her uses as a magic tank, and she will come in handy for certain situations. So I'm actually going to be showing you guys gameplay on my JP account tackling that level 150 World of Illusions Ifrit event. Now, mind you, I actually do not have Celeste's EX weapon in my inventory when I tackled this, and it still trivialized this event. So this is showcasing how useful Celeste can be in certain situations on the JP version of the game. So let's go ahead and take a look at that gameplay. Alrighty guys, so here we are with the continuation of the underappreciated video for Celeste, here to showcase some gameplay showing what Celeste can do later on in the future with her level 60 Awakening. I do not unfortunately have her EX weapon, but the event that I'm going to show you guys was essentially Celeste trivializes. She doesn't really need it, and when I beat it, my Celeste wasn't even level 60, she was only level 53, which goes to show that even the tanks in this game, as niche as they are because of the way that the meta is, both in Global and JP, they do have their uses, and this is one of the more difficult quests if you don't have characters that are prepared for it. So we're going to be taking Celeste. I'm also going to be taking Ferris, who's going to be our Dispeller because Ifrit likes to buff himself. I'm going to be taking 2 characters who we yet have to see in Global, but it's going to be cool to see them in action, which is going to be Paladin Cecil and Quistis. I do want to give a big shout out to a fellow YouTuber, which is Jet Stingren. You guys should know him by now. He also did a showcase of this event, showcasing what Celeste can do against this boss, and his Celeste actually has the EX weapon. So be sure to check out his video. It's going to be in the video description in the pinned comments. So Ifrit likes to open up with Hellfire, and then he places a unique buff on himself. All of his buffs are going to be unique buffs, so you want to keep that in mind. Whenever he has more than 2 or more, that's when you want to go ahead and dispel them, because he gets pretty nuts. And then you want to make sure that you always have Provoke and Runic up. Even if you feel like, oh, I still have 2 turns left, you never know what might happen. I just like to refresh it just to keep yourself on the safe side. Alright, And then another thing is that if he happens to break one of your party members and steal like a huge amount of Brave, or if his Brave like hits, I think it's like 10k or up after the end of his turn, he makes himself immune to HP attacks. So the only way to break him out of that is to break him. So you want to keep that in mind and make sure that you try not to let that happen. So we're actually just going to go ahead and dispel that there. So then that way we all have only debuffs on him. And then we're going to go ahead and place the Holy Imperil on him with Cecil with his EX, because his EX allows us to Imperil Holy, so that way Cecil could deal more damage with his Holy-based abilities. And whenever Ifrit targets all outside of his little ultimate bar where he uses Hellfire, he's either going to be doing a... physical AoE, which unfortunately Celeste does not nullify with a runic, or a magic one. The physical one doesn't hit that hard though, but after the end of those abilities, he does like to place a unique buff or two on himself. So want to keep that in mind. So during this phase here, I don't want any of my characters to get broken, because I don't want the immunity to hit Ifrit where he's immune to HP attacks. So we're just gonna allow him to collect Brave there, and it looks like he already made himself immune, which is kind of annoying, but we're going to go ahead and just deal with that here. Right, and just going to do this, so we're going to break him out of it. So now he is no longer immune to HP abilities, which is great. And he has that ability, which is just straight up an HP attack. We really don't have to worry about it. It doesn't do too much damage, provided that he doesn't have a lot of Brave already previously collected. Okay, so we have the taunt. Okay, we have the taunt, and we have the runic. Okay, perfect. So we're probably going to have to refresh those next turn. He's going to use Hellfire next turn, so we're going to be eating some HP damage. That's where you could see her runic ability really helps out with that. It's so powerful. Get the Dispel off. Get the Holy Imperil. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and just refresh Runic again. So I have the summon up now. I'm not going to use it just yet. I'm going to wait this out a little bit. I'm not in any real sort of danger just yet. And I want to be able to burst him down when I do summon. So we're going to save the summon. Let's go ahead and use just a brave attack in case he goes for an AoE ability next turn. So he didn't. Let's get the Holy Imperil. Ooh, nice. Okay, we got the launch, which is amazing. And we're gonna go ahead and Okay, so he has 1 turn of taunt left on him. We're just gonna do this, and we have Runic Shield up, so it should be fine. So he does his HP ability, which is perfectly fine. Alright. Let's get some debuffs on him. Let's see. He's either going to use his physical or magical. Okay, this is his physical AoE. It's just a shoulder tackle. Alright. So he's going to use Hellfire next. You want him around the 50% mark, and this boss has a lot of HP, and it's a lot. It's could be in peril. Probably have to we're gonna have to refresh the provoke soon. You know what? Let's do it next turn. We only have 2 uses left. Okay, we got the shield left for 1 turn. He's at 50%. And so now we don't have to provoke anymore, which could be a problem, but this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring in Quistis. Quistis has a specialty where she delays the enemy. Later on, she gets this, and she delays him for like 2 turns. It's pretty nuts. Look at that. And Ifrit got sent back, and now we're just gonna have fun and burst down this boss. So. Ooh, we're gonna just go ahead and delay him again. You know, just casually deal close to 40,000 damage. Let's go ahead and use her EX now. You saw that Ifrit's like being delayed by Quistis like crazy. That delay is so good. It's like Ishtola's stone ability, but on steroids, essentially. Okay, so we're getting Ferris back. And we have Brave ready for her from when we brought her out. Very cool. So Ifrit's almost down. He's going down soon. And there we go. So as you guys can see, Celeste is going to have her uses. She's going to be very, very useful for upcoming events such as this level 150 event that we're going to be seeing in Global. So if you have her already built up in Global and you've already been somewhat investing in her, even though she's not necessarily one of the better characters in the game for Global right now, you have nothing to worry about because she does have her uses and she will shine. I feel like tanks are going to have like specific events later on, even in the future of JP, where they can really shine. So hold on to your tanks. Keep up with training up Celeste. If you have her trained up, she is going to have her uses. All right, guys. Hopefully you found that video useful. Again, don't forget, if you are continuously watching my videos, be sure to consider hitting that subscribe button and also turning on the notification bell. That way you guys get notifications on when my videos release. Once again, I am 40 the Broadway Saiyan. Stay tuned for the next video, and mahal, everyone.